Good morning, children. Children, I welcome you all to today's session of chemistry. And we are still on chapter 4, water. And we have seen water is everywhere, where its importance, how it is useful in household, as well as for agriculture purpose, and in many industries it is used. We also saw what are the various sources of water, like rivers, pond, lakes. But the most important source turned out to be the rainwater, right? Rainwater. And then we also saw what is potable water, the drinkable water, which is this called potable water. Now there are the states of water. Water exists in three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. Solid state is called ice, liquid is water, and the vapor is the gaseous state. And their interconversion, and so that what is melting, freezing, evaporation, condensation, right? And we also saw that these states are interchangeable, right? And then we also went for transpiration. What is transpiration, right? And then we saw what is the water cycle, right? And its importance, that it ensures water is everywhere wherever it is needed, right? And then we saw what is potable water, what is the need of the potable water. And we saw that very few percentage, that is 0.014% of the water is fit for drinking, right? Now let us move to waterborne diseases. So we are here, waterborne diseases. The diseases caused by drinking contaminated water are called waterborne diseases. Some of these diseases are discussed below. And see, children, these diseases are very severe. First is diarrhea. This is caused due to infection in the intestine. This may cause loss of water and minerals from the body due to the frequent loose motions. It occurs when lining of intestine is unable to absorb fluid. Diarrhea can be acute or chronic. Acute, see, children, these two terms, acute or chronic. Acute means the duration is very less here, and chronic means it is prolonged, it has started long back, it's still continuing, right? Acute diarrhea occurs for a short duration, whereas chronic diarrhea, a person suffers for a long time. Then we saw, then the second one is cholera. Cholera, it is a bacterial disease. It causes frequent diarrhea and vomiting, right? Now then the third is gastroenteritis, or simply gastritis, right? See this one, gastroenteritis or gastritis. It is the inflammation of stomach and intestine, typically resulting in bacterial toxin release, right, and causing vomiting and diarrhea. Then there is typhoid, a very severe kind of disorder associated with high fever. It's also a bacterial disease, causing fever, headache, loss of appetite, also diarrhea. Then there is jaundice, right, in which a person becomes yellow. We have seen that it is fatal disease if not treated properly. Now, children, what are the various techniques of purification of water? River, tanks, canals, wells, and groundwater are the main sources of water. The water from these sources is usually contaminated with suspended impurities, microorganisms, and dissolved impurities. So, there is an urgent need for purification. And see, children, this is a beautiful, beautiful illustration of a purification tank. See what all things are there. We will be going one by one in detail. Now, sedimentation tank. The water from a river or lake is pumped by the pumping station into a large reservoir called sedimentation tank. This water is allowed to stand in the sedimentation tank for some time. During this time, many of the insoluble substances present in the water, they settle down, right? This is very important. This is the mechanism that insoluble substances, they settle down, right? Now the second one is loading tank. Now in the loading tank, some alum, right? In here, what is added is what is added is alum. Fitkari is added to the water. The heavy particles of dissolved alum deposit on the suspended clay particles in the water. In this way, the suspended clay particles in water get loaded with alum particles, become heavy, and settle down at the bottom of the tank. Right? The process of loading by using alum is used to purify the water. Next is filtration tank. Water is then passed through a filtration tank. The filtration tank has three layers: fine sand layer at the top, coarse sand layer at the middle, and the gravel at the bottom. Right? This is what you need to learn, the three layers. Right? The first is a very fine sand layer. Right? See, you can mark it like this also. See here. Okay. What will happen when the water passes through the layers of the sand? Even the smallest suspended particles and the other materials of the water get removed. Next is chlorination tank. Here chlorine is added to kill the germs and sterilize the water. Next we come to the storage tank. Now this purified water free of all the impurities is stored in a storage tank, right? And from here it is supplied to various houses. And at the houses it can be further purified by these simple techniques, right? And we know, by filtering, by using filter, by boiling, by chlorination, right? These are the three techniques. Electric water filter like aquaguard or RO are used to remove solid particles present in tap water. Also, the water can be made absolutely safe for drinking by boiling it at 100 degree centigrade. At this temperature, most of the harmful bacteria they die. Chlorination is done by adding chlorine tablets to this water. Now see, this is a chart of purification of water, and you can see everything mentioned in this, right? This is a beautiful chart which you need to learn, right? This is a very important chart. Now, water is the universal solvent. Now, what does this means? This is a very important property of water, right? Water as the universal solvent. That means it has the property and ability to dissolve most of the substances. Water dissolves various substances in it. Due to this, it is called a universal solvent. A solvent is a substance in which another solvent is dissolved. The substance which is dissolved in the solvent is called solute. Solute on dissolving in a solvent forms a solution. For example, when we dissolve salt in water, then salt is the solute that is dissolved in the water as solvent to form a salt solution. Solute is in smaller quantity than the solvent, right? Solvent can be water or any other substance like alcohol. Now, this is a very important line. Solution of any substance in water is called aqueous solution, right? Aqua means water. The solution is called aqueous solution. Water acts as an important solvent in our body, and also it helps in transportation of nutrients in our body. Now, types of solution. First is saturated solution. All these substances which are soluble in water form solution on dissolving in water. A given quantity of water can dissolve only a certain maximum amount of substance at a particular temperature, right? So a solution in which no more substance can be dissolved at that temperature is called saturated solution, right? That is, if you add any further, then precipitation will occur. Unsaturated solution is that solution in which more substances can be added at any temperature, and supersaturated is in which a solution contain more dissolved substance than it could dissolve at a particular temperature is called supersaturated, right children? Now we come to water pollution. Most of the water which we use comes from rivers and lakes. Every day many unwanted harmful substances are thrown on it, and this makes the rivers and lakes contaminated. And this, the contamination of water of rivers, lakes and ponds is called as water pollution, and the substance which pollute it are called water pollutant. Now, sources of water pollution: there is, you all know, untreated sewage which is poured into rivers and lakes and ponds, right, causing damage, cause spoiling the water there. Then fertilizers and pesticides which used in agriculture, which are added there, they further damage everything. Then untreated industrial waste through pipelines, they are put it in river or any pond or lake, damaging the water there, destroying the water, making it highly polluted. Now, how to control water pollution? Sewage should be treated properly at a sewage treatment plant to make it harmless. Farmers should use correct amount of fertilizers. All industries should treat the toxic waste produced by them to make it suitable in the water pollution prohibition law. Right? This is children one thing which is needed, that water pollution prohibition law which exists for industries producing toxic chemicals waste should be implemented strictly. Right? Garbage should be not be thrown into open drains, and people should be made aware of the harmful effects of water pollution. Now, to conserve water, right? Firstly, we should turn off the tap immediately after the use, right? This all these steps are needed to avoid the scarcity of water. Right? Brush your teeth by filling water in a mug and not by keeping the tap open. Now we come to the third point. Wash the utensil by filling water in a basin and not under the running tap. Right? See, children, if we follow the first three steps, this one and the previous two, right, most of the problem will be solved. Use water from washing rice, pulses, vegetables, and fruits for watering the plants at home. Do not use full flush from cistern in toilet. We should plant more and more trees. Rainwater should be harvested. The activity of rainwater, collecting rainwater directly and storing in big tanks for later use, or making the rainwater percolate into ground more efficiently, is called rainwater harvesting, right? Which is generally becoming mandatory in all the buildings. Now, how it is done? It is done by collection and storage of rainwater in tanks for future use, right? For when there is scarcity, and to make rainwater percolate into ground by constructing percolation. And let us now study about Henry Cavendish, right? And he was a great chemist. He discovered hydrogen, right? And properties of different gases, atmospheric air, and synthesis of water, right? So with that, I stop here. The chapter is over, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did in making it. And until we meet again, it's a goodbye.